Okay, buyer broker's representation agreement, page 3, section 13. It says additional terms. This is a very important part of the document because if you have any objections to this document, it can be fixed and everything can be perfect, and they can sign it based on what you put in the additional terms.
Any objections from the buyer?
Yes. Yeah, you shouldn't have any objections. This is a good document. But if the buyer, we've already talked about this, if the buyer says, I'll work with you, but I'm never paying you $1, and you're okay working with that buyer, you put the additional terms there. Only source of compensation will be paid by seller. Buyer is not responsible to pay buyer's broker any form of compensation.
And that is our approved verbiage?
Yes, yes, that's our approved verbiage. I would not go there unless you get the objection, hey, agent, I'm not paying you $1. And I also would question that person if they said that to me. How much do I want to work with that person? But maybe they just don't have money. You'll come across the point where somebody they saved up for the down payment and they don't got another penny to give you. Odds are you're going to get paid by the seller. Why would you risk not getting this signed, not getting a deal done, because you're afraid that you're not going to get paid by the seller?
I think a better way to say that is you're afraid to rely on your sales skills.
Yes.
And you believe that they will fail you. Therefore, you are requiring somebody to pay your fee. I know Matt, and certainly myself, if somebody said, Josh, under no circumstances am I paying you, I'd go, no worries. I know that I'm a skilled sales professional with the sufficient skills to be able to go and get the commission that I need to make a living. Yeah. So I'd take the risk all day because I would rely on me. So that is really another way to word it, is how strong of a salesperson are you? If you believe you can go out there and get it from the seller, then put on here nothing. Buyer, you owe me nothing. Exactly. I'll go get it from the seller. And that's a reasonable, common way of conducting real estate. This isn't weird.
Yep.
So if the buyer's like, absolutely not, then use the verbiage Matt just said. If you'd be so kind and repeat it one more time.
Yeah. Only source of compensation will be paid by seller. Buyer's not responsible to pay buyer's broker any commission. Also, I believe there's an in-between, because I've had a situation where the buyer looked at me and said, hey, Matt, you're asking for 3%. What if they give you less? Would it be okay if you and I renegotiated how much I paid you on top of what the seller's paying me? That's music to my ears, because if I make 2.5% and they're willing to pay me another 0.5% or 0.25%, we're able to renegotiate. So you could put in the terms, if seller pays less than the commission stated on page 1, buyer and buyer's broker or buyer and buyer's agent will sit down and renegotiate what is due from buyer.
And what we're going to do here is we will give you two scenarios. The first one about buyer not having to pay anything, and that the broker will seek compensation exclusively from the seller. But we're going to give you the exact terms, and then we're going to give you the one more, which was the in-between that Matt just referred to. Okay, so there'll be a link in where you'll find this, where it'll show these two filled out with the proper verbiage, so you could just copy and paste.
Yep. Final thing, if they're okay with everything, you leave additional terms blank, because this document is enough.
Okay, good luck out there.